Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Happy Monday and start of the week to you. So what we're going to do here is get the week kicked off and let you know what to expect coming up and just give you full context of everything going on in game and in the community so that you are ready for the week ahead in Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, today marks the last day of the two crazy, insane 10x events that they were doing. This one obviously with Netgrit, Duchess, Seer, some really good opportunities to get some good champions here if pulling during the 10x makes sense for you and your account. Now I did actually pull during this 10x. I decided to say screw it and YOLO for Chris because I got screwed over during the champion training tournament thing and I wasn't able to get a Chris back then, and I've never gotten one before. So I said, hey, a Chris 10x, who knows when the next time I'm going to get an opportunity this high to get Chris. So I'm going to go ahead and YOLO, and that video is over there if you want to see the results of that. But it ended up being pretty fun, and now I've got something to work on during CVC, which is going to be coming up tomorrow. You'll see the teaser in game right here for CVC starting tomorrow. And then a lot of you are usually curious about the personal awards, and this one is not going to feature the personal awards part of CVC tournaments. And also a lot of times for CVC, they'll have some sort of 10x summoning type event to incentivize people to pull shards and double dip some points during CVC. I'm checking this morning. I'm not getting wind of anything from them, so expect something to just kind of pop up during CVC, I would assume, because usually they have some incentive to pull shards during CVC, but I'm not seeing it on the back end yet. Now, one thing you may see popping up that is a pretty big deal is some of this stuff here about a reserve vault and a hex rebalance. You know, it's kind of weird right now. There's some stuff that's under embargo. We can't show on the Discord server or in Discord servers from the test server, but this is allowed to be shared about the reserve vault and the hex rebalance. So I will give you some context on this here. With the new update, the vault will be divided into two distinct sections: the master vault, which is the good old champion vault that you know of right now, but with a new name. And then there will be a new reserve vault. Now, the reserve vault will work similar to the master vault, except you can only send champions without artifacts or anything equipped onto them. It will have a maximum of 300 slots that can be unlocked gradually, obviously for silver or gems, albeit the price will be lower compared to the master vault. So what they're doing is, like, now they should just honestly condense it and put like champion pool and vault and just add more space to the vault. Maybe there's some sort of internal coding reason, space wise, that they can't allow like accessories and stuff. Maybe they can give more space to players if they do it like this. I don't know. There may be some internal reason for that, but basically you're going to have 3 different areas to store champions. Now you're going to have your normal champion roster. You're going to have your master vault, which is going to function how the vault does right now, where it's just perfectly normal. It's just excess storage space. And then you're going to have a reserve vault for things like some of those rare and epic faction guardians that you're never going to build. They're just there as a naked champion for a certain benefit on your account, or somebody you want to hold on to in the future that you haven't built yet. Then they go on to say, as the champion in the reserve vault can't have any gear, you'll be prompted to remove anything that might be currently equipped, where they pop up at the very same moment you attempt to move a champion there. Other than that, you will be totally able to use those champions exactly the same way you use stored in the master vault. Then we are also going to be getting a hex rebalance, which is something that has been desperately needed for a long time. So we have decided that this particular debuff needed some love. Thus, we aimed to make it more useful as of the new update. Hex will work as follows. Champions under this debuff will receive damage whenever their allies do 10% for single target or an additional 2% for AoE attacks. And then it doesn't say anything. Whenever their allies do what? It kind of clarifies there, but I guess whenever they do damage. This is extra damage that is not subtracted from the actual attack. Champions under Hex debuffs will only take extra damage from direct attacks on their allies and not lasting effects like poison, HP burn, and all the different damage over time effects. But the damage from the Hex ignores defense, so it's going to be very hard hitting damage in terms of the boost. So what it is you're basically basically going to be able to use Hex as a way to do a very minor defense break and a very minor like weaken. It's kind of like a mix between a weaken and a defense break. So you throw a Hex on somebody and then boom, like your Trunda would nuke a little bit harder. I think it's a cool way to go about it, and they maybe could have done something more fun, more interesting, but it definitely makes the Hex debuff a lot better, especially in the context of like the Hydra. You're trying to crank out a bunch of damage, you have the AoE Hex, and you're ignoring some defense and hitting a little bit harder there with all the attacks that you're doing. It's going to be 10% for a single target and 2% for AoE. Is that enough? Sure, I guess. Yeah, you don't want to stack things too crazy. I would have maybe done 15% and 5%. But all in all, I'm okay with starting it there and then moving it up if we need to eventually. And since we just had the rotation of 10x events, you know the drill. The summoning portal goes 2x, 10x, 2x, 10x. And if I'm tracking things properly, that means that this weekend should be 2x voids if they are going by their normal rotation. So expect here later in the week to be some sort of champion chase type summon rush event structured around 2x void shards, because we also have that new Knight Revenant fragment champion starting soon, and they will probably have an event with a bunch of fragments. Like usually they structure it with like 5 and then 15, so we'll probably get some sort of summoning event with 20 fragments up for grabs that will coincide with 2x voids starting later this week towards like Friday or so, which is something you want to keep in mind if you're going to be YOLOing for NetGrid or something. You don't want to end up putting yourself in a hole and not be able to get any fragments or be prepared to go after the new fragment champion if acquiring the new Knight Revenant is a priority for you. And speaking of which, we can pull up that new Knight Revenant champion and talk about it just really quickly. Some people have questions like, should I go for it? Is this champion worth it? And things like that. So we take note that this is going to be an HP scaling Spirit Affinity Legendary. Looks pretty solid based on the kit. Worth noting that some people get confused on the A3 here. It is an equalized HP. It is not a heal. So your masteries that buff healing and your curing set and stuff will not work with it. But my drill or my common message when it comes to fragments and fusions is always go for it if it makes sense for your account realistically. You know, I don't ever tell people to like break the bank or do something irresponsible, but if your account is in a position to chase a fragment or a fusion, I always recommend going for it. And also, since it's a fragment event, if you end up a little bit short, if you've got 75, 80, 85 fragments and you just can't quite finish it, they have shown us that in the future, sometimes they will do tournaments for like a dungeon. You get a certain amount of points in the spider or the ice golem or something, and you've got an opportunity to earn some fragments from past fragment events. So even if you're gonna fail and not quite get there because you can't get all the points in the champion chase or the summon rush and the tougher moments to acquire some of those points, you still want to get as close as you can, because you never know at a later date when you can acquire a legendary pretty easy, or at least easier than normal because of your previous fragments that you acquired. But yeah, all in all, I think they're getting a little bit better in recent memory with getting some... They had a lull there where the fusions and the fragment events were pretty lame, honestly, and we were all like, I mean, all right. And it got to the point where people kind of started skipping them. But, you know, Helikath was a really solid addition to the game. I think that's one of the better ones they've done. Like, Herndig was an awesome designed champion for a fusion. And then Helikath was also really good and slotted into the raid community pretty well in terms of the different roles that he unlocks and fills in the game. And I don't think this champion is going to be quite as good as Helikath or quite as well designed to really make an impact on the raid scene. But just a little bit under there. I think he will definitely be all right and definitely something you'll want on your account to at least have at your disposal and worth going after. And just to give you a heads up, this is the fragment counter for Gaiastic Lethal, so just keep in mind, I want to reiterate, this is not the fragment counter that you're going to be looking forward to for the fragment starting this weekend. This is just an example so you can see kind of what we expect. So when it is going to launch on July 7th, which is coming up this Thursday here in a couple days or right after CVC. It's funny how that works, isn't it? They get you to dump all of your shards for an amazing 10x and then right into CVC, and then right when CVC ends, skins, yeah, you gotta dump all your resources to start down the journey of finishing the fragments. They're really stretching people thin and keeping like a 7-day-a-week schedule of a reason to really dump resources into the game. But anyway, you'll see how the first couple days you'll have pretty typical stuff, your dungeon and artifact enhancement type of events, and then on that first weekend, we are gonna get some sort of event like this summon rush right here, coinciding with 2x voids, like I talked about earlier in the video. So you want to keep that in your mind if you're YOLOing for Necrit, like I said, that this first weekend is going to kind of be structured like this with normal stuff going on, maybe on Thursday or whatever. Looks like this one launched on a Tuesday, so they're doing it a little bit different with this fragment event. It's launching later in the week and closer to this summon rush. So that'll be like the summon rush is going to be kind of like right here over towards the left and very close to the beginning of the fragment event. So a little bit different in that regard, and you just want to keep that in your head as you prepare. Then as we dive into some of the in-game stuff going on, we've got pretty normal stuff as we have the calm before the storm leading up to the fragment events, a spider tournament. You know, today you don't really probably want to waste a bunch of resources since we've got CVC starting so soon. Like you'll notice, I'm sitting on a bunch of energy. I've got 2,000 energy. I want to at least wait until CVC drops and then dump that energy. If I had like 500 energy, I wouldn't want to miss out on the regeneration, so I would go ahead and waste that, or not waste it, but spend it. So I'm gonna, since I have over 2k, I'm gonna wait until CVC and then dump that energy so I can get some points, because I've also got some champions I need to book for the CVC as well. But anyway, back to the tournaments and events going on. Champion training again. You know, you can get some fragments for the Trunda skin here, but just something you want to keep in mind that is ending today if you wanted to scoop those up. And it actually, I know a few of you don't even know about this, but it actually shows this in the champion tab. If you go over to champion skins and then click on get skin, you'll see skin fragments can be acquired from, and it's going to list this right here. And when they end, if you would like to scoop up some fragments and kind of slowly work towards getting that skin. And then, you know, right here, you'll see there isn't anything live right now when you click on get skin, but for this one right here, there is. And then that will take you back to the tab that we were at with the events and all that stuff going on. So you do want to keep in mind, you know, if the skins are important to you, that today is the day to really get in there and spend some resources towards acquiring the fragments. The skins have never really been a huge deal to me personally, but I know a lot of you are really big fans of them, so keep that in mind. You know, for me, I would just like, if it was easy, like if it was, you know, one event, you complete it and you get a skin, sure, but I'm not gonna, over the course of like months and stuff, focus on skins, and I'm not gonna spend like $50 for a skin. If it was $5 or something, maybe, but that's kind of, you know, I've never been huge on the achievements and the skins and stuff, but I know some of you are different, and it's a really big deal to collect all that stuff. Then there's also a tag arena tournament going on tomorrow, but that'll be mostly par for the course. But it is worth noting that you do want to get your tag team arena ready, because it's a big source of points for CVC. So start setting those one-person defenses, let yourself rank down, and then go ahead and stay at the bottom so you can farm up hopefully some other one-person defenses during CVC and get a bunch of points in the tag team arena, because it is a pretty good source during CVC to acquire some easy points if you do it right. Fusion warm-up event, you want to make sure that you are doing this every day. And sometimes these are a little bit different, but the way that this one is going to be structured is you just need to get 15 points a day, and then you have capped out, and all you have to do that is upgrade literally any artifact to level 15. It can be 4-star, it doesn't matter. Go in, take an artifact to 15, or I'm sorry, you get 15 points or whatever, but just take any artifact to level 12, and poof, you are done and maxed out for the day. So you go in, find a random piece that you haven't upgraded yet, you click on 12, poof, and then you have got your quest done in terms of getting that finished for the event. And you'll see right here when I pull it up, and then poof, now I have got my 15 out of 15. So just something to keep in mind here the next few days as we lead into the fragment event starting. And look, so Plarium even does it themselves. I know, like in the raid community, we get mixed up on fusions and fragments, and sometimes it's a fragment event that we just say screw it and we call it a fusion because that's what we're used to. Plarium does the exact same thing. This is actually a fragment warm-up event. There is no fusion going on, but they still go ahead and so even Plarium is calling the fragment events fusions like some of us do in the community. Then as we head into the shop, I've restarted and everything, trying to get these offers to load up, but it looks like unless there's just not very many offers today, usually it's a little bit more robust than this. You get at least like 3 or 4, but for whatever reason, these are the only 2 I can see. You know the drill on the monthly pack. Not the worst time to buy it. If you're a spender on raid, as we lead into a new month and getting that kicked off with a fragment event, it grades out as about 2.5. We've also got this funny offer right here where we have KO reading a legendary book, which should not be happening. You would not want to spend legendary tomes on the rare KO or the epic dark KO. So pretty interesting there, but let's go ahead and plug this one in and see if it's actually accurate in terms of being 100% extra. So we've got the price, the 150k, and then we're gonna get 8, 6, and 5 for the tomes. So we go 8, 6, 5, and boom, 2.92. So yeah, somebody in the market for tomes, this is about the best you're gonna do in terms of acquiring those, but keep in mind that the rare tomes have a lot less value. So if I delete those, how's it grade then? Don't delete the legendary tomes. Here we go. So let's delete the rare tomes. Okay, so still about a 2.5. So still pretty equal to the monthly pack. You're not getting the like YOLO gamble upside of shards, but you are getting some consistent value compared to relation of what you can expect to buy books for in game. I think they used to have an offer. Gosh, what was that? What was that $50 tome pack for legendary tomes? I'm blanking because it's been a while since I've seen it in game. I don't think it was 5 for 50. I think it was like 9 books or something. Somebody can let me know down in the comments, or but there used to be an offer for a legendary tome offer for $50. I don't remember exactly how much you used to get, but anyway, in terms of the books and the price that you typically see them in game, this one structures a little bit better than most of those typically. So I could see this making sense for a higher spender tier player on raid. For someone that's diligent, I would probably lean towards, or someone who's on a tighter budget, I'd probably lean towards something like this with more gambling upside over the course of the long term of managing your account. And we also have access to a test server right now behind the scenes. We are currently on an embargo, so I can't share anything with you about that. I can't fire it up and go live stream, and I can't release a video on it. You'll start to see a lot of videos coming out tomorrow from the different content creators that you follow that have access to the test server, because that's when the embargo will be up. So maybe tomorrow we'll fire up a test server stream and hang out and discuss some of the new stuff going on, and also get a video out as soon as the embargo is up. I'll try to record 1 or 2 videos about that today, and then release that as soon as it's able to be released for you to consume. So that will do it for me on this one, and as always, happy Monday to you and start to your week. Hope you have a great week, and also happy July 4th for the Americans out there. I will see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.